Well, hello, IAC. I think that this is a time for truth, and the truth is as follows. Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state. Israel has a right to defend itself from terrorism. Jerusalem is the eternal and indivisible capital of the Jewish people. Iran is the leading state sponsor of terrorism around the world. It is an enemy of Israel and an enemy of the United States of America. The BDS movement is anti-Semitic. Although in fairness, I guess Hezbollah was not thorough enough in its BDS to ward off Operation Grim Beeper, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Israel is an incredible ally to the United States of America. And no state in these United States has a stronger relationship with the state of Israel than the free state of Florida. Now, when I came to IAC in 2018, I think we were down in South Florida. I had promised about what we were going to do in Florida vis-a-vis the state of Israel. And look, we had a lot of credibility in making those promises. When I was a U.S. congressman, I was a congressman for 3 terms. I've recovered from that experience entirely, but I was there. And I was the leading congressman in urging the relocation of our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. We went to Israel. We investigated. We did hearing. We were also the leader in urging the Trump administration to recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. And we were leading in Congress on opposing the BDS movement all around the world. And so when I became governor, our first year, we launched a massive trade mission from Florida to Israel. We actually convened a meeting of the Florida cabinet at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, which was historic. We now have hugely expanded trade, academic ties, scientific ties between Florida and Israel. And I got a lot of Israeli Americans in the state of Florida, I can tell you that. See? Oh, we love you. You know, it's funny because when I became governor, people have always moved to Florida, but the increase was noticeable. And you start to see, all these license plates. New York, a lot of New York license plates. And at the time, Florida was very politically divided. Basically, the races were 1 point. Now we have 1 million more Republicans and Democrats, but that wasn't true when I first became governor. So a lot of my supporters were seeing these New York license plates, and they were freaking out because they're like, are they going to vote liberal like they do in New York? And I didn't know for sure, but the one thing I told them, I said, listen, if they got that kippah on, they're probably with us. And sure enough, it's been tremendous. Now, before I had even taken office as governor back in 2018, I laid down the gauntlet against Airbnb, who I was engaging at that time in proposed BDS policy. As soon as I took office in January 2019, we acted, and the result was Airbnb reversed its policy against Israelis in Judea and Samaria. And we've also done more. We just recently did this thing with Morningstar. Morningstar was adding, first of all, they were using ESG, which is also a total scam, but they were including BDS into ESG. Well, we passed legislation saying that's not going to fly in the state of Florida. Morningstar is revising its policy, and that's going to stop. We also have led the nation in providing parents with school choice, and that has been used by millions of parents across the state of Florida, including many going to Jewish day schools. Now you can afford it. Since I've been governor, we've provided tens of millions of dollars to combat threats against the Jewish people in our state, including providing money for security for Jewish day schools and to protect other Jewish institutions. And we have introduced really robust Holocaust education in the state of Florida. Never forget, never again means that. Following the Hamas attacks against Israel on October 7th of last year, the Biden administration was dragging its feet in terms of helping Americans who wanted to escape the problems. We launched emergency flights from the state of Florida to Israel. We rescued hundreds and hundreds of people and brought them safely back to the United States. And when you saw all the hatred and the anti-Semitism spill out in the open on college campuses, with radical pro-Hamas mobs storming the barricades and taking over places like Columbia University, you did not see that happen in the state of Florida, because we wouldn't allow it to happen in the state of Florida. And you know why I'm confident that it will not happen in the state of Florida? Because if any of our state universities allowed themselves to turn into Columbia University, that university president would be out of a job the next day. We're not tolerating this. We're not going to let the inmates run the asylum. We're going to hold people accountable for their conduct. And we have expelled people. We have withheld degrees from people. The madness needs to stop all around this country. And I'm sorry, it needs to be said, I think it's pathetic that our nation's oldest and largest political party feels the need to cater to its very own pro-Hamas caucus. If they were in my party, I'd want them to be kicked out of our Republican Party. Now, what you're seeing on these college campuses, no question, is a lot of virulent anti-Semitism, a lot of hate. When you say from the river to the sea, you are chanting in favor of a second Holocaust. That's what that means. Now, I do think some of these students are just ignorant. I don't think they understand even what they're talking about. You hear some of them talking about end the occupation of Palestine. And I just think they need a little history lesson. There has never been a Palestinian Arab state. Prior to the First World War, you had hundreds of years of occupation under the Ottoman Empire. It was not a Palestinian Arab state. Then you had the British Mandate for Palestine. Then you had a partition plan from the UN, Jewish state and Arab state. The Jews accepted the state and founded Israel. The Arabs rejected the state and they went to war to try to eradicate Israel, and they lost. And they went to war again, and they lost in 67 and 73 and throughout the intifadas. And so, no, that land historically has no stronger connection than any group of people except the Jewish people. It goes back thousands of years. Read your Bible. USA, that's right. And I think when you say USA, it's important for us in the United States to be very clear-eyed about what it means to be a strong ally of the state of Israel. And that means we should not embrace the canard of a two-state solution. That is not seeking to have peace. They are seeking that as a stepping stone to the destruction of the Jewish state. And that is not acceptable. Now, the U.S. president that recognized the modern Jewish state, Harry Truman, once remarked that he had faith in Israel before it was established. He knew it was based on the love of freedom, which has been the guiding star of the Jewish people since the days of Moses. He went on to note that Israel had a glorious future before it, not just as a sovereign nation, but as an embodiment of the great ideals of our civilization. And you can't find a sharper contrast in any region of the world than you do between the light that's reflected by Israeli democracy and the darkness that's reflected by so many of the pathologies that run rampant throughout the Middle East. October 7th revealed that evil exists in this world. But I'll tell you this, ultimately, the truth will prevail. Ultimately, good will triumph over evil. God bless you all. God bless the state of Israel. God bless these United States of America. And God bless the free state of Florida. Thank you.